Do 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 do.
That was perfect. You timed that fucking perfectly. I just pulled you off the mute. Hello, everybody. We have 2 viewers.
Good evening.
I'm going to assume it's probably Steve and Raven. And if it's not,
No,
welcome.
I'm actually not watching it. Hold on, let me. Do 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 do.
The jiggy jar jar do. Dur 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 dur. Cause I flow.
I got that for show.
Carl Papa. Dur 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 dur.
Kaba.
You don't know Carl Papa?
Mm-mm.
You don't know Carl Papa?
I don't know Carl Papa.
Ah, you're missing out.
I know.
Fucking missing out, dude. Hello, Raven.
Unless I'm not playing Star Citizen, I don't know what's what.
How you doing, Goth Doll? Thank you.
God.
Thank you, Raven.
Ice Poseidon streams on Kick now too. God, what a fucking what a time.
Cause I flow. The jiggy jar jar do. Dur 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 dur.
I'm so sorry.
It's bad lip reading.
I have no idea.
It's bad lip reading. I would play it. I would play it, but I don't feel like getting flagged. So.
Let's see.
So give us something to talk about. Don't say fucking Star Wars.
Eggs.
I
like cheese.
Eggs.
He likes cheese.
I made wings today.
Ooh, what kind?
Just wings, just regular wings. I did make a hot sauce. I took some what is it? Hank's sauce? Shout out to Hank's. Jersey. Jersey made. I took their herb infused and I cut it with a little bit of butter, and it was like a medium, but it's like real vinegary and herby. And that was really good.
Nice.
What I had for dinner today. What me and the kids had. Kids liked it. The kids eat wings.
Good stuff.
Every time you yawn, a ghost sticks your cock in your mouth.
Promises. I made a ham and cheese, a hot ham sandwich. Hot ham sandwich. I love how in our Discord we had the
mayo maze.
Mayo maze. I like how in the Discord I was because I was in the INSD earlier, but like I tried to invite a couple people into it, and they were like, "I can't get in because it says you have to accept all the rules and go through jump through all these steps." I'm like, dude, just join here's my other Discord. Just hop in here. We'll do that. And then we were like, I brought up the podcast. And like, oh, you have a podcast? What do you guys talk about? And I'm like, well, sometimes we'll talk about like spiritualism or aliens or ghosts or like modern dating or just like how dumb like modern entertainment is nowadays. Like it depends. Like sometimes we'll talk about like what's going on with like the other day we were talking about like the LA riots and like current events, like kind of stuff. It depends on what's going on and how we're feeling. And he's like, that's right up my alley. He's like, what's it called? And I'm like, we are in the Discord of said podcast right now. And I posted the link tree in the general chat.
Very nice.
And they were like, oh shit. And then
So speaking of modern entertainment, actually, you triggered something in my brain.
I love when I do that.
So earlier, we were looking for things to preoccupy ourselves, and one of the things that bothers me is like modern television shows suck. They're geared towards like this. They're geared towards like cell phone entertainment. So like everything's like snap cuts, or it's like reality television. Reality television is I read too much body language to sit and watch reality television. I just see right through it. So I say to my son, I was like, you want to watch something that I used to watch when I was a kid, when I used to come, because my grandmother's house, I used to come to this house because she had the channel, and it was a show called Beyond 2000. Couldn't find it anywhere else. My mom didn't have cable. So I would come here and I would watch it. So we watched this computer episode, and it was talking from like 1992's perspective of what they thought computers were going to be. And it's amazing. It is amazing. And one of the kickers was they were like, eventually, or they called in George Lucas, this company, or was it either them or Macintosh? It might have been Apple. Called in George Lucas to give his opinion of what he thought computers were going to end up looking like, which is like this super irony thing, because it's this guy and he walks into his office, like the lights are all like dim, and he goes over to his desk, and on his desk is like this sort of book looking thing, and he like opens it up, and there's like little icons and shit on there, and I went, John. He goes, yeah. I said, that's what they thought an iPad was going to be in 1992. What you're playing on right now is what they thought was going to exist in the year 2000. And it didn't. How wild is that? He was like, that's pretty crazy. I was like, so what do you think? He's like, I hate this show. I said, why? He says, because it's got advertisements and commercials in it. And he's like, I can't skip them.
That's another thing. Like, we didn't have, back in our day, they weren't ads, they were commercials.
Yeah.
And we couldn't skip them. It was just like whatever was on TV, that's what you were watching. It's not like it wasn't really up until like TV Guide became a thing. And I'm not even talking about like the actual thing where you push a button, you have the guide, like the book that you had to order from your network provider. And it was a book that you would look up and you'd be like, all right, this show is going to be on at this time. So I got to.
And it had like regional sections. So if you were like in different counties, it was different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have like HDMI 1, HDMI 2, or like back then it was AV. And even then sometimes it wasn't even AV. It's like if you wanted to like
you just
Nintendo,
you're telling on yourself, bud. You're telling on yourself growing up in that rich fucking household. AV. We didn't have fucking AV. All we had was coaxial. We didn't even know it was called coaxial. It was just a cable that went in the back.
Yeah.
Or the bunny ears. The fucking with the bunny ears, slap the TV to get it to get out of the static.
I remember we had a TV that it was 11 channels. It was a dial that you just like click, 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 and it had like I think only 11 channels on it, and it was an old TV.
Yeah, man. That's what I had in my bedroom forever until I could actually afford, till I got a job. So I was over 14 to go out and purchase my own tube TV. I had the same thing. It had like the double knobs. So you had like one through, I think it was like one through, I want to say it was like 1 through 16. And then there was a U button. And then that one had like 24 through 36, but they never worked. And you could fuck with them all day long. You would never get a picture on any of those. But yeah, the old UHF, that's what it was, UHF, ultra high frequency.
Well, that was a whole nother thing, how like, because everything was analog, nothing was digital.
Yeah.
So like you had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you interrupted me first. That's okay.
I was just going to say that's what the show was all about, is how at that point in time they were just in that sort of phase of where they were switching from analog to digital, and like what they were expecting the digital to become. And they were like speculating what broadband internet was going to be like, and like how like internet was not a thing. And like one of the big themes through the whole show is like, adults are afraid to use computers. The word computer is a scary word. And it's like, I forgot it was like that. Like now every household that I know has at least one computer in it.
Yeah, it was crazy to think how back in the early 2000s, late 90s, like there was the family computer, the computer room. Like you had a room with a computer in it, and that was it. And like if you wanted to play a video game on it,
you had to share.
Yeah, like so it's like, you know, mom or dad was working on the computer doing something, doing emails, and then God forbid if you were playing a video game on there and someone called the house and kicked you off the modem.
The one that used to get me all the time is my phone line was the same as the house line, of course. And my dad used to just pick up the phone and be like, hello? and it wouldn't. You remember how it wouldn't like kick on, but because he interrupted the modem on the computer would kick on, so that I would hear him on the speakers for like a split second, going hello, 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 and then it go dee 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 doo, 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 and he would like, click.
Oh my god, it's so wild. But it was, but in the same breath, I have to say, like, I miss that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
was
do.
such a simpler time. Like, even like in our cell phones, it was just like call or text. You didn't have to.
It wasn't even
like,
text. When I was young, that wasn't even text. Text wasn't a thing. You used to get charged for like per letter by text. The first couple cell phones that I had when I was young, it was like 13. My dad got them. He got like the first family plan, and it was free nights and weekends. But that didn't count for text messages, and I didn't know that. And I ran up a $1,500 fucking phone bill, and I still haven't lived that down. And I'm 40.
oh my god. Oh my. Hold on. Actually, now you mention that, stand by. Hold on. I got something to show you. You're gonna get a kick out of this. Shit, just knocking things over. Okay. Hold on. Bear with me. Oh god.
Tell me you're gonna whip out like a fucking candy bar cell phone from like 1999.
Oof.
You are, aren't you? You're gonna whip out a candy bar cell phone from 1999, aren't you?
No, I have the world's best rum.
Bacardi.
Best awarded rum.
Bacardi. Is that?
Hello? Just kidding. That's one of these bad boys.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Fucking, I will.
Does it work?
Die. Yeah. I will die on the hill that is my retro tech, and then it gets even better.
There you go. Game Boy Advanced.
Also still works. Not one dead pixel.
Nice. Do you know how much some of those go for, dude?
Not selling them.
You know, actually, this is one that was really interesting. Did you know that Earthbound? Have you ever heard of this? The SNES game Earthbound?
I don't think I have.
A clean cartridge goes for $400.
Let me turn off my green screen so it's like fucking.
So you can actually see what you're showing.
Yeah. It's fucking dumb. Like, there we go. Nope. Change back. Yes, change background. 90s as heck.
Yeah.
Carrying case.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Or I should do this. I should do this all the. Da, 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 da.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take these. But the best part, Game Shark.
You were one of those guys.
Pokemon Yellow.
I never wanted the
Golden
Pokemon.
Sun. Golden Sun was my favorite Game Boy Advance. Star Wars,
Of course.
on Game Boy. And Pac-Man.
All those cartridges still work?
Yep.
No shit.
One of my favorites.
Castlevania.
Hell yeah.
Do any of those have saving batteries? Like, do any of them actually use like a save option in them?
The Pokemon ones do.
You should look them up, see which ones and what year they are, and make sure that they aren't like prone to battery leakage, because that's a thing. And then it'll eat the cartridge, and then you're fucking out that cartridge.
Yeah.
I know there's places.
I've been out of them for years.
I know that there's places that do like battery swaps. I'm not talking about the game system. I'm talking about the cartridge itself.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why Earthbound is $400, because it had one of those save batteries inside of it, and they would go bad, and they would just nuke the fucking the PCB on the inside.
So this was, I think, my third cell phone ever.
You did. You whipped out the candy bar fucking Nokia.
Well, that's not the candy bar one. These were the candy bar ones.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about no.
Or
That
MP3.
Nokia is what we would refer to as the candy bar Nokia because the screen's like an inch by an inch. Those that red and that was that thing even color? Yeah, that red one that you have is a way bigger screen. Was that Nokia was a color?
No,
it wasn't. Right, it was just dot
Yeah,
matrix. It was like
backlit.
the right.
And then this was the first touchscreen phone I ever had. It was a Samsung
that thing.
something or other. You remember when I had this? This old thing?
Yeah.
3 megapixel camera. Wow.
That was a big deal back then.
It was.
It's fucking silly. I remember cameras that were like
Like,
digital camera of 1 megapixel. It's a megapixel.
HTC was like, I was such a diehard HTC fan that I like every time whatever flagship phone they had, I always had to get HTC. I used to love their phones.
I had the first Android. I don't. It's rattling around somewhere in my junk drawers. I had the original Droid.
Yeah, I had the. I didn't get the original. I had the
licensed by Lucasfilms.
Android HTC Incredible. That's like somewhere.
Yeah, did you know that the original Droid was a George Lucas product? The first Motorola Droid. It was like it was like a slider, like a sidekick, and
I remember seeing something like that.
I had one.
I don't recall
because I was always a tech junkie. But yeah, I looked into it, and they were actually licensed from George Lucas to use the term Droid.
I don't think I was a big like tech junkie when I was younger. Like when I was getting these phones and shit.
Which is an interesting point because that means that George Lucas has the term droid, DROID, trademarked.
Mm-hmm. Look, sir, droids. I wasn't really like a big tech kid until I think around like when I started like getting into like the HTC phones. That's when I was like, what's like whatever the flagship phone was, like I had to have it.
I think it was the HTC One was like the really big deal. I remember a lot of people are making a big deal about that one. Was it the HTC One or the HTC Hero? It was one of those.
HTC Hero was the HTC Hero that came out in 2009.
Yeah,
that had like the ball roller.
Mm-hmm.
And then the HTC One.
Donnie was making a real big stink about that one. He wanted that so bad.
HTC One, not thermostat. Fucking.
I remember.
Thermostat.
They were like $800 to $1,000, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, that's so expensive." Meanwhile, these fucking things are $3,000.
It had to have been the Hero because the Hero came out in 2009. The HTC One was in 2013.
Then it was the One. It was the One. Weird things that I remember because I was dating Stephanie, and I remember that he was making a real big deal about the One.
Yeah, I got it. I think it's this one.
That's the One.
And it had the speakers on the sides.
Yep. It was like one of the first like.
I loved it.
It was like a gaming phone.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was like
So,
tell me it booted up.
shit. I was just curious. I like held up the bat, dude. I haven't touched this thing in like over 10, like at least 10 years.
That's some good battery life, but you should probably turn it off before it starts downloading a shitload of updates that never works again.
Yep. HTC One.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. No fucking way. Android is starting. Oh my god. Dude.
Noise.
Nice. Yeah, I just looked it up. People are selling them on eBay for like $25 pre-owned,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like you can get one refurbished for like $100. Wow.
I can't see that.
Oh wait, is it like? It's like it's fucking green screen bullshit. Like fuck off.
You didn't have a custom background on that thing?
I must have like done something. What does that say? Mobile data. Your mobile data connection is turned off. Yeah, no shit. I did. It must have like gone back to like defaults.
Probably.
God, I'm
what's
anything.
What's the
No.
charge on that?
It's at 73% right now.
That's
Are
fantastic.
you kidding me?
It's better than modern phones.
What the fuck?
I got a couple of phones that I bought like a couple of years ago that don't even turn on.
73%, and this thing's been sitting in a box for a decade minimum.
You know, the unfortunate part is you should probably put it in like a firebox. You know that, right?
Why?
Because you essentially have a lithium ion grenade just waiting to go critical.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, even like the like touching the screen is still like pretty snappy. God, the app icons are so old. It looks so they're so like boxy and like low res. Yeah, I think when I yeah, because there's no contacts in this thing. There's no like old text messages or
Yeah, it must have wiped itself. That's a good thing.
yeah, no photos, nothing in the calendar, nothing in my music. Nothing. Yeah. That's wild. 73%. Now it's at 72%. That's insane. Yep, power off. Yeah, okay. Wild. Absolutely wild. I wonder. Hold on. Now I'm curious. I'm just taking
You're
all
just
my
gonna
old
start
photos
turning
and, like,
on the
bringing
phones. One of them, dude, I don't recommend doing that, especially the really old ones. You're just gonna see the camera like.
I think that's the power button. No, this is the power button. No, nothing.
Does
No.
this work?
I remember that was like an old I can't even open it. There we go. Yeah, still
Not swollen.
no.
Pretty interesting.
Back when you had to like when you put the backs of the phones on. Back when you can actually change the battery on your phones.
What's up, buddy? Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
God, I wonder if this is like so busted. This is so old. Where's the power button? I think that was the power button here. You press that, maybe? I remember this one used to light up and I loved it. I think you used to like have to press down. Oh, this thing is so fucking like rickety. That's the thing. Nokias were like made to last, you know.
Integrity. Good of you. Yes.
This one's not turning on.
You still fiddling with your phones?
Yeah, I'm done. I was kind of hoping this one, because I used to love this one because these like clear, they used to light up on
When
the
it would
sides.
ring, it would blink.
Yeah. And there would be like certain ringtones where it would like light up with the tone, like with the rate, like the melody and stuff.
Yeah, remember when
So it
they
could
actually
make
had like character and they were actually like cool little objects to have, and everybody had like they were sort of a piece of their personality, and now everybody has the same fucking black box.
Yeah. The Black Mirror. Yeah, it's there's no like, because like back then, like everyone's phones were like, you had people who had like the Sidekick, you had people who had like the original Motorola Razor, you had people who had like just they still had their singular flip phone
Yeah,
that was like, the size
people
of their
used to
thumb.
mod them, used to put in fucking LEDs and shit.
Oh yeah, like and back then, like yeah, there was like a that's the thing I love about old tech, like late '90s, early 2000s tech, because there was this charm to it that
Mhm.
you don't get with new tech, with new phones and everything. It's just everything is just like
All the cars are black, gray, and silver. All the phones are black,
yeah,
gray, and silver. Everything that we have, Millennium Gray is a fucking thing where everybody paints their fucking house like a different shade of gray.
yeah,
Uh, society has systematically eliminated all forms of like the 90s identity, which was, remember, everything was like clear plastic and multicolored.
yeah, dude. Oh man, the Apple computers did that too for a while.
Yeah. They didn't do that
That
for
was
a while, dude. They had several
that was
different series that came out, like the iMac, then the iBook,
Nintendo did that. Yeah,
and they
the
were all
Nintendo did that as well
clear.
with the 64 and the Game Boys.
Xbox originally did it. The first original Xbox, there was like a purple one, a green one, and a gray one. They were like super hard to find.
I
And
remember the
then,
green one. I don't think I saw the purple ones or the gray ones.
yeah. Then they did it a little bit through the 360 era, and they kind of do it now with like the printed skins on the Xboxes, but it's nothing like back in the day when everything was fucking clear and you could actually like see all the circuit boards and circuitry and shit.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Every cell phone maker had at least one semi-transparent phone.
And now it's just like, even what was it? I've seen posts on how like places like McDonald's and Pizza Hut and Burger King and Taco Bell used to be like so colorful and vibrant and like and had like different shapes and things, and now everything's just a big gray box.
Yes, it is the theory that brutalism is there to break the human spirit.
I hate it.
I hate it.
Fucking hate it.
Hate it. That's why I go to Popeyes, because they do like the old school like New Orleans with like the bright orange building with like the green lights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a purple Xbox. You didn't know there was a purple Xbox?
Oh. The beauty of no artificial preservatives. Somebody put like I look up Burger King brutalism, and it shows like they're like AI made, but they're like ultra, like just concrete buildings with a Burger King thing on it. But then they showed it's a picture of like a moldy Whopper. It's like the beauty of no artificial preservatives. It's like, bitch, please, you all have fucking artificial shit.
Yeah, there was originally, because they called it crystal. There was originally a crystal purple one. They're like super, super, super hard to find.
Crystal purple Xbox?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't switch over the screen. My bad.
Very good.
There you go, Raven. Yeah, legit.
Oh, that's pretty.
Right?
That's really cool.
And like you can get like the custom made controllers, because I have one, but they don't really do the clear. Like you have to buy like a very like off the market one and swap it out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these existed. There's the green one.
Yeah, I remember the green one.
I don't know about blue. I think that's just a remake, like a repurpose, or an aftermarket. I'm sorry. A lot of the purple ones were like E3 limited editions. Like you actually had to go to E3, if I remember correctly, what the story was, or they were like developer models.
That makes sense. I feel like there was a really cool. It kind of it was kind of like a neo retro futurism with these devices like Xboxes and like the controllers and computers and stuff that had the clear plastic covering but had the LEDs going on underneath, and it's just like they need to bring that back, man.
I agree.
That shit was so cool.
Yeah, everybody keeps talking about like how like things haven't changed. Like we've been stuck in the same time period since like the 1999. That's not true. That's not even close to being fucking true. Because if we were stuck in the time period for like 1995 to like 2005, we would have all this cool shit.
Yeah.
And like this is what we're all nostalgic for. And like millennials are the ones who spend the money on this type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it came down to like if I had the option to buy a purple Xbox, I would probably trade my Xbox in and get like a if I had the option. If I had the option to get a teal one, I definitely would.
There was do they still do it? Hold on.
All did. What's up, brother?
I wonder. Shop.
Ooh. Oh, I might have to. Oh no.
Home and desk.
I don't have
no.
money. I do not need to spend the money. That's literally my favorite color.
Oh, holy shit.
I'll check them when I'm off of here, brother. Yeah, that's literally my favorite color. That's the same. That's the same color as my actual custom controller.
Where the heck did I see it? I don't know if they sell them anymore. Shit.
That's a Xbox One X. How about Series X? Yeah. See, they're stickers. They're cool, but they're stickers. Oh no, that's real. And of course, it's a Halo edition.
Oh hell yeah!
Wow. The problem is that we have just like cars because of human compulsion. The cost of everything is so fucking expensive now. So, you know, a car that should only be worth about $30,000 is going for $60,000 because people are willing to pay it, and all the electronic horse shit that goes into it. The same thing goes with consumer electronics. Back in the day, not an Xbox, but a Nintendo 64 was what, $250, $300 tops. I think was like when it was fresh off the release.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you wanted a controller, it was like 25, maybe $50. You want a custom Xbox controller, it's like 300.
Unreal.
It's ridiculous. And I'm not going to shit on any brands because I don't want any brands coming back on me. But most of the aftermarket stuff, like back in the day, you used to be able to buy an aftermarket controller, and that aftermarket controller was just as good as a standard Nintendo controller, an OEM release. Now you buy an aftermarket controller and they suck because the connection's not good. They're finicky. There's all sorts of issues.
That happened with me with I had gotten aftermarket controllers for my Nintendo Switch because the Joy-Cons they had these like chroma LED lights on the side. It was like these two lines that went down the side and they went through the whole chroma spectrum like a Razer keyboard or something or a gaming mouse. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I think it was off like Temu or something. And I got them off there for like I think it was like $10 or something maybe. I was like, oh, it's a fucking steal. Like, yeah, I went and got them.
How long do they last?
Probably like 8 months.
See, my problem with even the stock OEM Joy-Cons from Nintendo, I probably replaced them like 3 times. And I got tired of spending the money. And I eventually just stopped playing it. They ghost, they drift, they have issues with the thumbsticks.
They don't make things like they used to, man.
No. No, they do not.
It's a fucking shame. I love what was like I would say during the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like between like 2000 and 2005. What was your like when I say that time period, what was your favorite video game?
2000 to 2005 is easy. That's an easy answer. It was Halo. Halo came out in 99. I got it for Christmas of 2000 or 2001. And I got a couple other games, but that was like that's an interesting thing to watch. Prisons in El Salvador. What time? When did? Yeah, no, it was Halo. Morrowind came out 2001. I liked that a lot. I played that a lot. I put a lot of hours into that. Then Kevin dropped my Xbox and erased it. Put like 300 hours into a game, and then Kevin dropped the fucking Xbox.
Bastard.
It's all right. He replaced it.
Halo, the first Halo came out in 2001.
It says 2001.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember my first Xbox I'd gotten around then because Halo, that's when it came out, and Halo came with the Xbox.
Yeah,
and I was like, and
so I guess
at the time,
I might be
shit the bed. I was like, I was going to get a new one, but then that's when the Xbox came out, and all my friends were like hyping it up, like, nah, dude, you gotta get the Xbox.
I might have been misremembering that timeline. It's 30 years ago.
But but yeah, Halo and Halo 2. Excuse me. I played the absolute shit out of those around then.
I loved that game. I loved Halo.
So
I'll never forget. I got it. I got it in this house, and I hooked it up to the TV that was right over there on that countertop, and I played it all of Christmas. I didn't open any of my other presents.
That's totally understandable. I think Morrowind that came out in
2001. It was a part of their like their launch release. It came
May 2nd, 2002. North American release. That was the Microsoft, and then an Xbox it came out June 7th of 2002. I used to play the absolute shit out of that because I'd recognized it from when my brother had played Daggerfall, and I kind of I was like, Elder Scrolls, that sounds familiar, and I was like, and then I saw 3. I remember like Daggerfall was like Elder Scrolls 2.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think Tommy borrowed it. I think he borrowed it from Blockbuster, and I went through like the character creation, and I was like, this is sick. And then, because he's not really into those kinds of games, so he was just kind of like watching me play it.
Yeah.
And I went home and I was like, I gotta get a copy of this. This game's fucking insane. And then, like 6 months later, they came out with the Game of the Year edition that had the 2 expansions, and I grabbed that.
Oh God, what were those?
Blood Moon, and it's not Redguard. It's
Tribunal.
Tribunal.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with a T.
Do you want to know one of the interesting things about Tribunal?
Sure.
That was supposed to be the original release of the game.
Really?
Yes. That's what Morrowind originally was supposed to be completely, just the Tribunal expansion pack. The whole storyline and everything that's in there. Because it was actually, Tribunal is an extension from Daggerfall. And I didn't know this until years and years and years later. But yeah, it was supposed to be a carry-on of the story from Daggerfall.
Yeah, the player is attacked by an assassin, later revealed to be a member of the Dark Brotherhood, an assassin's guild. To find out more about the Dark Brotherhood, the player is directed to Mournhold, capital of Morrowind. Upon arrival, the player locates and defeats the head of the Dark Brotherhood and a complete series of side quests for the new King of Helseth and the living god Almalexia. Almalexia has ruled Morrowind for thousands of years alongside her fellow gods Vivek and Sotha Sil, who call themselves the Tribunal. They were worshipped. I don't remember doing anything for Almalexia or only Vivek. I think I was the only one that I remember.
I beat that whole
from
game.
that.
I beat that whole game.
I know, yeah, that one I never did any of like the main quest shit. I just ran around and like just stole shit and pickpocketed people and killed people.
So many hours into that game because I didn't fucking understand it at the time, and I didn't understand like what the point was.
Oh yeah, same. I mean, that's the thing. I was just like, oh, let me just. All right, I destroyed this town. On to the next one. I was a fucking plague. Oh my god, I was the worst.
Yeah, until one day I chopped down somebody and it's like the thread has been cut. The main storyline can no longer be. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, the plot and setting of Tribunal was conceived during earlier development in the earlier Elder Scrolls titles. Mournhold, the setting of the Tribunal, featured as a location in Arena in 1996. Following the release of Daggerfall, Bethesda Softworks began initial work on an unfinished sequel that would later become Morrowind, also named Tribunal. The sequel was intended to be set in the entirety of the province of Morrowind. Initial development for the title contained quote-unquote conflicts, characters, and themes later used in the design of the Tribunal expansion, including the use of adamantium armor and monsters including goblins and liches. However, no staff involved in the initial discussion for sequel to Daggerfall were ultimately involved in the creation of the expansion. Interesting. I wonder why that is. Development of Tribunal expansion started after the release of Morrowind and completed bullshit. I'm just talking about when they released it. That's like further development shit. That's interesting. I did not know that. I don't think I delved too much in the Tribunal expansion. I was more, I think, when what was it, Blood Moon,
werewolf.
Yeah,
her scene.
I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
God,
but that's the thing. Like, you didn't really see a lot of games with like character create. That's what I think sold me on it. Was like,
oh yeah,
not a lot of games. It's like, wait, I can like create my own character. I can have this. Like, I could. Oh my god, I used to love. And to this day, I hate games that like where it's a preset character. Like, I hate games like Overwatch and Valorant and like all those games that are just like, oh, you create something like, or no, you play as this character in this game that already looks like this and sounds like this and attacks like this. And then God forbid if like somebody else picks it, now you can't play as that character. Now you got to pick something else, and it's just fucking. I can't.
Not so much. I understand where that sentiment's coming from, but I don't necessarily feel that same way. I don't share that one. I like making my own character. One of the reasons I absolutely fell in love with Morrowind is I learned early on that you could hack it if you did certain things and did certain spells and shit like that. And then I realized like the spell making thing and like it's amazing that like you see all the stuff for Skyrim and people exploiting bugs in Skyrim. If you went back to Morrowind and like exploited those, there's so many tables you can fucking expose. And you know, like the whole big thing that everybody was doing with the re-release of Oblivion was like cranking their acrobatics and shit and just like running off the face of the planet. You could do that from level 1, day 1 in Morrowind. It was so easy. Okay. I remember getting attacked by cliff racers in Ashlands and my armor was breaking and I was like, what the fuck? And then suddenly I got the game. Yeah, because that's basically what happened with me was I was out in the middle of fucking nowhere. I was just exploring, looking for a cave or something to dig into. And I ran across a what were they called? They were like the zombies. And if they hit you, they paralyzed you, but they didn't just paralyze you. They would paralyze and burden you. Hello, Tyson.
What's up, Ty?
And yeah, I got like paralyzed and burdened, stuck in the middle of fucking nowhere. I kill this thing and I can't move. I can't drop anything. Like my strength is at 0. And then I started to figure out like, oh, potions mean something. And like, it's not just health potions and magica potions. Like you need that restore strength. You need that restore personality. You need that kind of stuff. Marilyn Monroe was a 7 in numerology, like me. Blood Moon and the Island of Solsteam was great. Yeah, my job said it will be having a fashion show one day in the twilight shift, and my head wanted to explode because every day seems like a fashion show of fake people there.
You know what made me want to actually play Morrowind again recently, so I could find them, was I wanted to play Morrowind again just so I can try to find Dagoth again in Morrowind.
Tyson, I don't think that means what you think it means. You're not reading the chat, Steve.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking up Dagoth.
I also got totally gangbanged by an orc outside of Nisus, and I was like, oh my God. That's all I do. My job is totally fake people. Everyone who comes in is super fake. It's like, I don't care if you have all these purses that you are storing here. You obviously don't have as much money as you claim if you're having to store stuff here. Because it was opposed to be orcs. I'm gonna go bleach my eyes.
All right, let me catch up. My job is totally fake people. Everyone's comes to super fake. It's like, I don't care if you have those purses that you're storing. You obviously don't have as much money as you claim if you're having to store stuff here.
I'm not shaming. I'm not shaming. I just wish I could erase some things. That's all. Everybody's allowed to like what they like. Do what you do. I don't care.
God, we were talking about some wild shit on my stream earlier. I think we quoted Dagoth like, quick, get his forces, go, 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 go. And for like an hour and a half, maybe like 90 minutes straight, we just kept making foreskin jokes.
I feel like Raven would know. Raven, what is it called when you have
docking?
It's not docking. What's like an affinity for like fantasy creatures?
She would know.
I would assume.
I was playing Star Citizen earlier, and I was like,
Holden, you sound like you're working in a casino.
I was like, I'm gonna go fight a bunch of giant radioactive worms. Wish me luck. And she was just like, ooh, radioactive worms. I wish I was involved in that. And I was just like, what is wrong with you?
Worms crawl in, the worms crawl out.
Tentacle fantasy has entered the chat. Oh my god.
Have you ever seen a furry in public?
Yeah.
You have.
Yep. At Exotica.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
I think I saw one when I was in the Edison one, and one when I was in the Chicago one. They're few and far between, but they're out there.
What was the first feeling that you got when you saw it? I'm sorry that I'm a monster fucker. That can be taken several different ways, kid.
The
what was the first, like, you know, when you like see something and you have that like initial like no
let me
just a fucking reaction, just a visceral reaction. What was yours?
Let me get that. Let me just say that. Let me start this by saying, I don't shame
either.
Whatever you do, like whatever you do, whatever gets your rocks off, have at it. You know, it's like what you like, I might not like, and what I might like, you might not like, and that's all well and good. So you know, people are pretty different. So that being said, the first time I saw it, I just kind of like shook my head.
So it's just like
I didn't have words.
Mild
like,
disgust.
Not disgust is a strong word. I would just say like, I know that they weren't embarrassed, but I had secondhand embarrassment.
That would be disgust.
I can't bring my brain to be like, to put myself in that position of like, I'm gonna go out and dress in this like mascot suit that has been sexualized. You know, like, and you know that these people have like a spot where they just take off the bottom part and their junk is just there. You know that that's a thing. There's 100%. There's no way that, and me personally, I just can't wrap my head around it, and I don't want to kink shame it, but like it's to me, it's at a point where like you are personifying, you're putting on this costume, and you're like, I'm a dog now, or I'm an animal of some kind.
See, that's the only part of it, and you're absolutely right. You just hit the nail on the head. That's the only reason I can't bring myself to be okay with it. There are people who are into like depositing. I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's depositing. They do the egg deposits in themselves. It's like some sort of alien kink thing. I don't judge. That's cool. Whatever. Everybody has their thing. Whatever. I've played with Benoit balls. Not me, but
I was gonna say,
are you a furry, Raven?
He's low key kink shaming me. Oh yeah, she loves her cat ears.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, putting on cat ears.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's
whatever.
Cutesy Kotaku shit. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, that to me is like, you're putting on your cat ears is the same as you putting on like a pair of earrings. We're talking about putting like a full costume thing where you are personifying.
I don't even know what you look like underneath of it.
And it's just to me.
You're ADD, brother. We're back on the murder. We're talking about furries right now.
But it's to me, I think it's when you get to a point when you're like sexualizing animals and shit. It's I can't advocate it. I'm not into it. I'm not
Raven,
okay with it.
What you're talking about, I don't consider furry. that's Kotaku, uwu. That's fine. That's cutesy shit. I know what you look like. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the people who are hiding inside of a fursona that I have no idea what they look like, which is literally
that is a word, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh God,
which is literally
fursona.
a step away from bestiality.
It is, and that's why I can't.
That's completely different. That's completely different.
Yeah, Raven, you putting a headband on that has cat ears on it and putting a butt plug on that just happens to be a tail, fucking have at it.
I'll tug on it.
Like, go for it, whatever. But like, but to me, it's the same people.
You ever hear of a Tennessee pull start?
A Tennessee pull. I'm assuming it has something where you yank a butt plug tail out of somebody.
Well, I mean, you can, but typically it's anal beads. Yeah, you get them all the way in there to just the little loop sticking out. Put your foot up against their ass and then just pull as hard as you can. It's Tennessee pull start.
The sound.
Do you know what a Philly sidecar is?
You told me this recently.
I just said it to you the other day.
You said it. Oh God. Yeah. I remember. Unfortunately, I remember.
It's a Philly sidecar. And if anybody's ever wondering what a Philly sidecar is, it involves a colostomy bag hole without the bag. It's over. It's over. Done. I explained it. I didn't explain it in great detail. But I explained it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Fuck some fucking people.
Holden wants to call again.
But yeah, to me,
let's see how it goes in a little bit. Holden, relax.
To me, the people who do like the furry stuff and sexualize that, and to me, it's the same. They're in the same boat as the people who
maps
mentally like age regress and wear like the adult diapers and get the adult cribs, but then they like sexualize it, and it's just like fucking like the people who like have a partnership where they're in like an adult diaper and like their partner legit changes their shitty diaper and shit, like, and like treat them like a baby. It's a, to me that is a mental illness.
That I was about to say that's better treated with psychology rather than. I can't relax. I'm holding. That's noted. Noted. I appreciate you for it.
Yeah, I don't care what you do in the bedroom, as long as you keep it in the bedroom. Like, I'm all for like the pride parades and people going out in the parade and like waving their flag and celebrating their rights.
Okay,
but the minute that you're out on that same parade and you're like
doing stuff in public,
each other and doing shit in public, and you're just like being like, and you're like half naked and stuff
or
like
fully,
that,
or fully fucking naked, because a lot of times that's the case.
Yeah, and you're just like acting ratchet as fuck, and like, you know, like twerking and fucking like, no, like, I'm all for you like celebrating your rights.
I appreciate you, brother.
And you know, wave your flag, dude, be happy, but like,
I heard somebody
keep shit in the bedroom.
The
minute you start fucking Tyson, thank you, buddy. I just saw that. But yeah, the minute you start fucking sexualizing animals and kids and shit, you're dead to me.
Yeah, the kids thing is my cutoff.
I don't know you.
That's
yeah, kids and animals. You can fucking keep that shit.
Holden, that's an interesting statement. I get aroused from seeing people grouped up or corralled, like in a Salvador prison.
Is that why he's watching this video?
I hate to say it. I know. I kind of get the feeling that Holden is a good person and probably would never commit a crime, but I also feel that he probably wouldn't be that uncomfortable there.
That part when the God, what movie was it? Not another teen movie. When the one guy who's like he's like the creepy guy who like records everything, and he like punches the one guy punches his best friend, and he's like,
Alden, you're fine, buddy.
That's
You're
for
fine.
being mean to so and so, and he then the other girl's like talking shit, and he punches her, and he's like, that's for being mean to the girl too, or something like that. And then the one guy's like recording all that, and he's like, this is really turning me on, and he just punches him, and he's like, that's for being really weird.
Yes, I have, Tyson. Okay. Yes, I have.
Just looked it up. Ew. Right, Raven, why would you look it up?
Brother, keep an eye on that one. How did you find out that he was associated with that? Did you like, was it like one of those things where like he pulled out his wallet to like pay for something and like the card fell out? I think every single one of those people that are affiliated with that association should be prosecuted. Just, we declined it. Nice. Good. Yeah, good. I'm not going to take that away from you, Halden. You can go ahead and say whatever's going to your mind. I don't care. Yes, if there was a discount for his, he asked for a discount. He asked for a discount for it. Oh my God. The audacity of these fucking creatures. Listen, being a Christian, I wrestle with my wrath. I can forgive a lot, but I do not forgive anybody who harms a child. No, sir. None whatsoever. There is no recourse. No. Mm-mm. And if that's what I go to hell for, so be it. That'll be the thing. I wouldn't even be mad at him. You got it, Father. No problem. I'll go do my time.
We declined it. What are you guys talking about?
He texted me something, and I'm not going to talk about it on stream. I'll talk about it afterwards. But
okay.
It's an association of grown men who like not grown men.
I'm sorry, I was distracted. I kind of fell into a hole where I was looking up the different myrrh of Elder Scrolls.
Just fucking distracted.
And I fell into like,
you need to get on medication, dude.
Probably. The ADD is real with me, but I was and that's not true. I was playing Star Citizen the other day with you, but I was still able to hold a conversation for the most part.
Respect, Tyson. Respect.
Yeah, like I knew about like Altimer, which were high elves, and Orsimer, which were orcs, and Dunmer, which were dark elves, and Bosmer, which were wood elves, and but then there's like these Chimer and Mortimer, and I was like, wait, what are these? And I was just kind of like looking these up. I knew like the Falmer were snow elves.
What are orcs?
The Orsimer.
Orsimer.
Yeah, they're or called the pariah folk.
I do know about Madeline McCann. Yeah. She has our birthday. I don't know what her birthday was. So speaking of absolutely rage inducing, have you heard anything about Preston Davey? Just saying the name out loud is making me nauseous.
Preston Davey.
Yeah. I don't recommend looking it up. I don't.
Okay.
I came across it and it tore my stomach up, and I've literally been praying about it since I saw it. Go ahead. You know what? Go ahead. Look it up.
No, I'd rather I'd rather hear a good story.
It's not a good story. Not a good story at all. And matter of fact, I can't even talk about it. That's why I'm saying look it up. I can't talk about it. Can't say it out loud.
All right, what's this person's name?
Oh, it's a child. Preston.
Children are people too.
Preston Davey. And as soon as you see a picture of him, tell me who he looks like.
Just clicking the first article I see on this. Man accused of what? Jamie Varley?
Mm-hmm.
And he was a former teacher?
Yep. Hunters don't go to the city to hunt deer.
Along with the co-accused John McCowan.
Yeah, his husband.
John McCarlin not even gonna try to pronounce that weird name. Public alongside police officer with a woman and two defendants. But defendants who spoke only to confirm their names were remained into custody to next appear for a plea. When did this happen? October. Their plea for October. 5 days ago. I was 2023.
2023, but they were charged and indicted in like a couple of days ago.
Oh, yeah, this article was 5 days ago. Yeah. Okay, so this was... Oh, here we go. Yeah, but in Blackpool of 2023, what was that, England?
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the 30-minute hearing, I gather there are members of press family here. They are most welcome. Berkshire Police said it was alerted on July 27th of 2023 after an unresponsive brought. Oh my God.
Have you seen a picture of the baby?
Further accused of 10 counts of it. I feel like I'm gonna fucking throw up.
Right? Have you seen what the baby looked like?
I'm tearing up. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it'll hit you differently once you actually see what Preston looked like.
I don't want to see any more of this. I want to read any more of this. This is fucking...
It looks like Archer.
Suspended. Was arrested. Good. Fucking bury him under the prison. Oh, Jesus.
I've never wanted to commit a horrific act so badly in my life. But I want to go skin those two alive.
It's too good for him.
I bring EpiPens.
Like that. What's that scene from Law Abiding Citizen?
Mm-hmm.
hook them up to shoot them up with adrenaline so they don't pass out. Put the mirror up so they can watch themselves get like slowly just chopped into pieces.
Tourniquet every limb, and I would just skin them. I would skin them.
I'm sure hell's got something planned for them.
Can only pray. Yeah, sorry to drop that somber note, but I've been walking around with that for fucking days at this point. It's been tearing up my stomach.
I want to fucking spit. Anyway, so I was looking up the different kinds of myrrh in Elder Scrolls.
Well, did that coincides with
interesting.
You saw the, I think you actually even commented on it. The victim was named Preston Davey, Preston Davey.
Yeah,
Alden. It's dark, dude. It's dark. It's not a normal case. But yeah, then I posted the other day about how many teachers have been caught doing that kind of stuff in the state of New Jersey by itself. And you were like, "Oh my God, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And they were talking about one specific school that's been honest and upright up front about how many teachers have been doing it instead of just moving the teachers around, because that happened to us in Galloway, because that happened all the time down in fucking Galloway. And the only case that was ever actually kind of made public, but mostly by fucking word of mouth, was that one between the cop and the girl. But yeah, it happens all the fucking time. And that's why I'm not putting my kids in school. I absolutely refuse. There's no way that they can make it. There's no way that our politicians or anybody can prove to me that it's a safe place to put my children. And I don't understand why we have this like discussion. It's not. Between the violence, the bullying, the lack of attention that teachers even give children, unless they are giving them too much attention. I appreciate you, Tyson. It would just be a rage-fueled fucking. I'm actually being censored about it right now, but it would just be a rage-fueled tirade. It's just.
There's something else that I saw recently on.
I think if you harm a child, you're not human. You don't deserve. I don't think you deserve due rights. I don't think you deserve due trial. I don't think that you deserve anything but the death penalty, and that's my honest truth. And the reason why I say this, and this also goes for people who are rapists. I believe that rape should be tried the same way that murder is, because of what it actually does to the victim. Even though the victim is usually alive, because of the level of damage that it does to a person mentally, that it should be tried as such. And if the victim shows lifelong damage, then yeah, put them down. Put them down like dogs, because if that's how they want to fucking act, then as dogs you go.
I was just going to say, there was a thing I saw recently where this guy, 22-year-old guy who was he got a job as a nurse aide or an aide of some kind in a facility that helped people with disabilities. It was like a nursing home, but like not specifically for like elderly. It was for people who needed God, what's it called?
Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about. He impregnated the girl.
Yeah, I saw that. He was like,
I sent that to you.
That's yeah.
I sent you all the horrible stories. I am so sorry, Steve. I am so sorry. You are the only happy-go-lucky person I know in my life, and I just send you all the fucking darkness. And I'm like, this is what humans are like.
And I'm just losing my mind.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Ugh, what a fucking but yeah, he got 20 to 25 years.
He had the audacity. Did you watch the whole video where they give him in the first interview and he's like, yeah, I did the thing and I was always like playful and fun and laughing and
he's like, yeah, they just
no,
they
you
followed you and
were
trained you and
fucking
this
a
and
girl who
that.
couldn't fight back is what you were doing, you fucking worthless piece of shit.
Yeah, and then he realized, they were like, do you want to, like, when the cops were like, the best thing was when the one woman cop said, do you want to tell him? And the other the investigator was like, yeah, you can tell him if you want. And she goes, okay. Passes the paper across the table and says, Kate is pregnant with a baby. And they walk out the room, and then he's just like, and then he realizes like what he's in there for, really.
Oh
and he's just
God,
like,
I will do whatever it takes. Let me raise this baby,
Lord,
motherfucker.
Jesus, fucking help me, give me another chance.
Motherfucker.
Like,
no, wrong. Yeah.
It's funny because like I try to be, I wouldn't say I'm happy go lucky. I would like, I try to be the kindness and the light and the love that I want the world to bring. So I try to, I feel like the more I try to expand in my, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but the more I try to like spread love in the world, and the more other people, like anytime I'm in Wawa and I'm like getting a cup of coffee, if the person behind me in line is getting a cup of like the person right behind me in line has a cup of coffee in their hand, I tell the cashier, I'm like, hey, ring me up for their coffee too, please. That's my good deed for the day, like that. Hopefully it's in the hopes that that little kind gesture will make that person's day a little bit better. It's like what was it, the I think I forget if it was here I was talking about it, or if I was on the other channel, but like there was this kid, just there was a car in there's 3 lanes in the road, and I was on my way to the gym, and there was this car just parked there in the middle of the road. People are going around him honking, like, and it's right at the turn to go into the shopping center where my gym is. So I park my car, I run across the grass and to the side of the road, and I wait for cars to pass. I'm like, can you put it in neutral? It was like a young kid, like in his late teens, early 20s. I could tell because he had that stupid broccoli haircut. But he was like, but he was like, oh no, it just stopped. I'm like, I'm like, can you put it in neutral? He's like, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, press your foot on the brake, take that, put it on N for neutral, and he was able to do it. And it was a big SUV. I tried pushing it myself, and I couldn't fucking do it. And luckily, 2 other men came out and saw me, and they were able to push it off to the side of the road, make sure, like, now that guy's out of harm's way. But it was like, it's like nobody else was. He was definitely there for a minute at least, because when I was driving all the way down the road, it was there. It didn't like just happen. And supposedly what had happened was the battery was low, and it was one of those cars where the engine stops when you hit the brakes, and you stop at a red light, and then when you take your foot off the brake, the engine starts again. Hate that mechanism. Don't get cars with that mechanism. It's fucking stupid. But so many people, like, instead of like driving around and be like, fucking get out of the road, and you got this fucking young kid just who doesn't know what to do, and you're not making it any better by like, it's like the first thing I asked him, I was like, are you all right? Yeah, it just stopped. Okay, let's see if we can get it out of the road. And like, that's it. Don't fucking like just, you're yelling at somebody's car like, get the fuck out of the way, blah blah. What are you doing? What's this fucking idiot sitting in the middle? Like, no, just fucking get out and help.
All it takes is fucking 2 seconds. All it takes is 2 seconds to assess the situation, realize there's a kid behind the fucking wheel and doesn't know what he's doing. That's all it takes. I get it. There is kindness in this world. That's why it's important and imperative that we actually are the ones who uphold it. We live in what's called a high trust society, and
Yes.
the absolute scum of the earth are the people who take advantage of a high trust society. Originally, back in the day, farm stands like you see driving all through Jersey People would have farm stands and they're paid on the honor system. You would just go up, you get your eggs, your whatever, you weigh it out, and you would throw the money in the bin. There's firewood all over the backcountry out this way. Same deal. You take your stuff, you throw your money in the bin. I remember I had one guy come out because I cleared him out, and he comes riding up on the thing. And he's like, and he opens up the box and he looks and he goes, "Oh, cool. You guys camping?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to be like for a whole week, dude. You're a lifesaver having this chopped up for us." But unfortunately, there are people out there. I just saw a video the other day. But they're getting smart. They're getting Ring cameras and they're putting them up there. But people are walking up and they're just taking shit, and they're taking money out of the bin, and people are just taking shit. So like, why do you have to be that piece of shit? Why can't you be a decent person? And most people at heart are decent people. But
I think I think what happens is there is a big reason, or a big factor, is a lot of these people probably didn't grow up with a strong father figure.
Oh, definitely.
I think it's because we talked about this before. I think we are products of our environment, and
I think the big problem, it's not even just a strong father figure. I think what we're going to start seeing coming up soon is a generation that was raised without their parents whatsoever. Their parents were there just to provide sustenance and internet. And we're going to start seeing kids who grew up on iPads and like immediate entertainment and like immediate gratification type behavior. We're going to start seeing a lot of that, fucking a lot of that.
There was one video I saw where it was like a kid, like fucking like Johnny's age, young kid, couldn't have been older like 9 or 10, out trick or treating, and on the Ring camera, it showed like the bucket of like, take one, and the kid just like, he's not even in a costume. He just has a book bag, takes the whole bucket, dumps the whole bucket of candy in his backpack, puts the bucket down, flips off the camera, and walks away. And like,
what's really fucked up? We live in a society where that might even be fake. The original poster, that might be the original poster's kid who's doing it just to get fucking clicks. And that's what's wrong with this fucking world now. I look at everything through that lens. I go, how true is this?
I do that too. I find myself looking at certain videos where it's like, is this something that people...
Is this rage bait? Is this engagement bait? Yeah. This is why I was raging about engagement bait the other day. People who just say people are doing instruction videos, and they're like I did at the beginning of our video, and when you said the greatest rum, and I said Bacardi. I know it's Bacardi. I'm a fucking bartender. Yeah. I've lifted 1,000 Bacardi bottles in my life.
What do you think is the greatest rum?
Louisiana spiced rum. It's got an alligator on the bottle. It is the best rum that you could possibly purchase. Within, again, I'm going to show my snootiness here, within the $30 price range.
Okay.
Because there are other rums that are significantly better.
Kirk and Sweeney rum. That's the one. I wouldn't even make a fucking rum and Coke with this stuff.
Well, that's the Louisiana spiced. You don't need to mix it with anything. Right on the fucking rocks. It's delicious.
No, that's what I'm saying. This stuff, Kirk and Sweeney, they have a 12-year, an 18-year, and a 23-year. That is, they're aged in bourbon oak barrels.
That sounds good.
And it's where's the...
Yeah, no shit, Tyson. I used to, like, when I say no shit, I mean, like, not joking aside. I used to keep a bar stocked. I used to bring everything in. I used to load bottles, cases of beer. We used to do like 500 cases every week. Yeah. And I would organize it all and keep stock of it all. That was fun.
So they got the 18-year.
Use a whole kegs.
18-year Gran Reserva Dominican rum. One 750 milliliter bottle is $44.
It's not too bad.
The 23-year 750 mil is $53. But then they have an XO that is $210. But yeah, it's a sweet sipper.
It's not Bayou. I'm trying to find the. I'll see it. They might have gone out of business because they were small batch. There's a place by us called Hewn, Hewn. They they're a distillery in PA. They're like a small family, small batch. I've let you try some of the stuff because I whenever I go over that way, I grab a bottle just because they're all like 500 bottle runs. They're tiny. So they serialize them all. So I have collector's items of them. Yeah, you know what it is? It's Bayou. I think it's Bayou. Is that the one? No, it's not Bayou rum. It doesn't have the alligator on it. But Hewn makes a spiced rum, or not a spiced rum, an aged rum that's really fucking good. Rum with an alligator.
There's a few. It's like Gator Bite, Alligator Bay,
No.
Alligator View, Agriculture. I don't know.
No, it is Bayou. It's their old label.
Bayou's BAOU, right?
BAYOU.
BAYOU.
Yeah.
Bayou Satsuma rum.
Yeah. That's good shit, man.
It's not that bad. 21
If I show this, are we going to get fucking in trouble because it's alcohol?
It's a picture. It's a picture of a bottle of alcohol. It's not like we're.
Fuck it. It was this one. This spiced rum right here. Their stuff. Phenomenal. They do it right.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that bottle.
Yeah, I polished off that whole bottle by myself. That was a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue us streaming and showing a picture of a
if you are under 21, do not purchase.
Yeah. Dude, they got gambling on this website. Like, I'm not sweating it. We got categories, slots.
What's your go-to whiskey? Like, you walk in the door, you already made your mind up. It's in a price range. What's your go-to?
What's my environment? What's my setting? Am I going out? Or am I just going into the liquor store to get something to sip at home?
You're just going to go to the liquor store and grab a bottle of something to have. That's
Santori Toki.
Whiskey?
Yep.
Santori?
Yep.
Isn't it like $50 a bottle?
Yep.
I'm talking like $30 range, dude. I'm talking like.
That's
your go-to.
If I'm sipping
I
something
thought I was.
home,
I'm over here thinking that I'm the fucking snob.
if I'm sipping something at home, And I had a long week, and I want to fucking unwind.
Okay.
That's my
respect
go-to
it.
Centauri. Centauri, either the Toki or the uh what was the other variant? There's another Centauri whiskey.
My standard's Tully 10. Tullamore Dew 10-year-old. I love Jameson. Jameson's
Yamazaki's the other one. I like that one.
Jameson's what I get if I'm having like a party and I feel like sharing. But if I had a choice, because a lot of people turn their nose up Tully, I usually go Tully 10. That's my favorite Irish whiskey.
If I'm like out with friends, like just Jameson.
Yeah,
probably.
That's
it's
a good sharing whiskey.
Speaking of drinks,
speaking of alcohol, I think I might. I don't mind if I do.
Now I'm not one. I'm not. I see John making funny faces and talking shit. What are we saying?
Nothing. I'm busting ball. What you got? What you got there, homie?
So,
it's a Star Wars liquor.
Oh, I fucking wish. This I actually have two of these bottles because they were a limited edition bottle and I had to get it because I thought it was
Kraken?
great. Kraken, but the bottle is these fucking background fucking bullshit, goddamn stupid fucking So it's the Kraken ripping apart the Atlantic City boardwalk.
Nice.
And I was like, that's the best fucking label I've ever seen. It's just the Kraken attacks New Jersey. And I'm like, that's worth price of the bottle right there. I don't care what this costs.
You remember Captain Morgan Tattoo?
Yeah, it was shit.
It was shit. It was like fucking paint remover. Go ahead.
But Captain Morgan Cannonball was good. That stuff was good. This is something that Tim actually had gotten me for my birthday one year. Highland Park Valkyrie single malt Scotch whiskey.
Oh, Highland Park. Okay.
This stuff was it was smoky, I think. Yeah. It was almost like a smoky, almost like a cologne, if anything, actually, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of like a very not musky. What's the word I'm looking for? But it was a very distinct whiskey. And then this was the Añejo, Deftones' tequila.
Very nice.
Which actually fucking Tavio had gotten for me for my birthday last year, I think.
Nothing but empty bottles.
This stuff was, of course, they're empty.
Have you ever had a Shantishan?
Does what have what?
Have you ever had a Shantishan?
I've never even heard that. That word.
It's a mid-level. What would be considered like a mid-level to low? I don't want to say low, but low priced. But it's a very fine Scotch. They have a pretty broad flavor profile. They're very good, very peachy, very flavorful, not very smoky.
And what's it called?
A Shantishan.
Ashanti?
A Shantishan. It's spelled like AUCHENTAN.
There we go. Yeah, Jesus, try saying that 10 times fast.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's very good.
What? 81 years single malt. $250,000.
Yeah, that's about right.
That shit better come with a blowjob.
That's one of their high ends. But you can.
It's just like a sculpture of like a hand holding this.
Their $30, $40, and $50 bottles are like primo.
29-year Scotch for 21 to 21 to
I've got
50.
I've got a
$2,150.
19. I got a 19 sitting in my my liquor cabinet. And I've had it for like 3 years at this point, so it's actually closer to like, I mean, they don't bottle age, but it's 21 years old. So that thing was made when I was
81-year aged.
When I was like
single
18.
malt. Holy fuck. I can't even
Lefroy,
imagine.
Lefroy 10. Fucking, if you like strong scotch, like strong tasting scotch, Lefroy 10. Can't go wrong with that one.
So scotches, I'm not a big fan. My dad likes scotch. He loves scotch. That's his poison.
You got to have a taste for it. They're
Yeah.
unique.
I love bourbons.
I can't drink bourbons. I'm allergic.
I love bourbon. This so this is actually a
when I drink bourbon, I break out in handcuffs.
I think I should. This is on the rocks. It's a pre-made
it's standard
thing.
Yeah.
The spiced pear whiskey sour. That's delicious. Oh, I love it. Straight rye whiskey.
I don't fucking
spiced pear liqueur.
I can't do cocktails. Never have. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. I used to drink cocktails back when I was a kid. then I grew up. I grew some hair on my balls.
I'll stir a little bit on the bottom. Wet the lips a little bit. It's so good. It's so delicious. I think if we ever like make it big, I might become an alcoholic again. No, it's a lie.
The irony is I can't drink. I'm not allowed to drink, and I don't. Yeah, I think even if everything heals up, I'm not going to drink. But my dream is to open up a distillery. It's one of the few things I truly enjoy.
Oh God, that one,
the process.
Bourbon I had once. It was this is like years ago. I don't even think they make it anymore. God, where was it? I think I was in
Screwball
Virginia.
peanut butter whiskey.
Disgust peanut butter and whiskey. Fuck off.
You never heard of Screwball?
I've heard of Screwball.
It's a big deal.
Had Screwball. It's fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
So is Fireball. Fireball's fucking gross. You're drinking syrupy fucking just.
That's because whoever you drank it with didn't have me making the shots, because I would have made you a PB&J. Grape schnapps. A little touch of vanilla vodka. Shake it cold.
You know what we gotta do? We gotta get that club going.
That would be fun.
Just get and we can do the podcast there.
Tyson said, "Wait, you want that recipe again, bud?"
Your mom loves Fireball.
Has she ever PB&J with whiskey? John, I am hiring you for my next party. Dude, it's what I used to do. I used to literally, I'm not one of those. I was a mixologist before it was cool calling yourself a mixologist. You can ask Steve. I come up with drinks. That's what I do.
I was just talking about this the last time I came over. One of the best martinis you ever made.
I used to have a whole,
and I still couldn't. It blew my mind how you even got butter cookies, and they had that distinct taste and that distinct smell. And somehow John made a martini just like that once.
Well, it wasn't once. It was once for you.
It was phenomenal.
It was one time for you. I used to make orange and creams. I used to make all sorts of stuff. Chocolate.
I remember
Death by Chocolate Cake. But
you were bartending at that place, and I brought my buddy there for his 21st, and we were bar hopping with me and him, and his girlfriend met up with us later, And I was just like, there, now he's your problem. but he was already lit like a fucking Christmas tree. And you give him this drink, and you were like, and he was like, "What's this?" And you're like, "It's called Hangover. Be gone." And he drinks, and he's like, "This is fucking water." and you're like, "Yeah, drink up."
That's that was usually my go-to when people are annoying me.
and he ended up shirtless on the boardwalk, and his girlfriend. I called his girlfriend to come get him. I'm like, "Hey, he's ready to go home now."
If I remember that time correctly, and I believe you guys showed up, and he was like being like the stereotypical like 21-year-old, like slapping the bar and shit, and you had a little bit of that like secondhand embarrassment, and that's when I took it upon myself to embarrass him for you.
Yeah, because my 21st, I went to the pool at Harrah's, and it was with a bunch of my friends that were mostly lesbians, and because they were just like my friends from work at the time, and they were like, "Yo, it's Steve's 21st. We're all going out," and it was like a couple of my friends from school and stuff like met up with me there. It was fun, and but I remember I was on the roof, also with my shirt off, and it got to a point where security was like, "Time to go home, bud." And my friend Stephanie drove me home and tucked me into bed and put a water bottle next to me, and it's like, "Happy birthday, kid."
So I'm gonna commit a bartender faux pas. I'm going to commit, like, you know how magicians like never tell their tricks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do one of those because I haven't been a bartender in a dozen years at this point. Not even a half a dozen years. I don't even think that long. I think I was bartending like 4 years ago. But you're lucky you were with him, because if he would have showed up by himself and acted like that, what I would do in that exact same position is I would bury him. And there was a there was a person that used to come to my job who used to like just annoy the fuck out of me, and I would serve them screaming Nazis.
All I ever heard is that